If you know me, you already know I'm a huge fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. Heck, my first video game ever was Sonic Heroes for the PlayStation 2, and say what you will about the gameplay, but the music? It's incredible. By now we know that the quality of Sonic the Hedgehog titles can be indecisive, to say the least, ranging from "I love this game" to "Why was this even made?" But even when glitches and bugs can be found in almost every one of Sega's new installments to the series, you can bet that the game's gonna have a killer soundtrack either way. So let's have a look at how the series became notorious for its amazing music, with its first ever game, Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis. My name is Voltz, and welcome to an analysis of the music behind Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's start from the beginning. Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis, or the Sega Mega Drive for us non-Americans, was released on June 23rd, 1991. Masato Nakamura, a bassist and songwriter for a J-pop band known as Dreams Come True, was commissioned to compose the music for the Blue Blur's first outing. The biggest struggle Nakamura had when producing the soundtrack for Sonic 1 was the number of sounds that could actually be played concurrently on the hardware he was working with. You see, the Genesis only had 4 audio tracks that sounds of music could be played on at the same time. However, even with these limitations, Nakamura managed to create a soundtrack that became etched into the minds of children and adults alike once Sonic 1 hit the gaming scene in 1991. Today, we're going to be looking at these iconic compositions and be rating all of them with a score from 1 to 10 based on a number of factors, these being 1. The impact the song has on the player, invoking certain emotions when appropriate, 2. The way the song complements the theme of the level overall, and finally, 3. How catchy the song itself actually is. These ratings will be based on my own personal opinions. These may differ to your own thoughts, so if you happen to disagree, tell me what your favourite songs are in the comments. Once we've rated them all, I'm going to recap the rating I've given them in an order from worst to best. If a song is given a lower rating, that doesn't necessarily mean I dislike them, it just means I like them less than the others in this game. The songs we'll be listening to and analysing today will be the 6 bass zones, the special stage music, and both the boss and final boss music. We're going to be addressing each song in the order they appear in the game, with the special stage music being last, as that song can be encountered anywhere in the game at the end of each level. Without further ado, let's get right into it with Green Hill Zone, arguably the most iconic zone in the franchise, as well as one of the most iconic gaming levels ever made. And even though in modern day this location is overused as all hell, you can really see why. Hang on. No, you can't. But seriously, Green Hill Zone is a perfect introduction to the franchise for new players, and its music is a key attribute to that. With its instantly recognisable jingle, this song makes anyone feel upbeat while speeding through Green Hill's loops and tunnels. The level itself is a lush green landscape bursting with life, and the music perfectly matches this tone. It makes you feel ready for the adventure ahead, and this song is so unforgettable. It's a song people think of when they hear the word Sonic, so for that reason, Green Hill gets a solid 8 out of 10 from me. So, how do you contrast the upbeat, joyful nature of Green Hill Zone? Whereas Green Hill's music is designed to make the user feel carefree, rolling around at the speed of sound, this music was designed to paint Dr. Robotnik as the antagonist. From the moment he emerges on screen and you hear that intimidating music, you know for certain that this is going to be the villain you're out to stop. This song does a good job of relating to the tension in these boss battles. However, seeing as the tune is played repeatedly for all battles in the game, except the final boss, it can get very repetitive, very quick. Not to mention that the song itself isn't really that catchy. Personally, I don't see myself putting this song in my playlist anytime soon, so I'm going to give Sonic 1's boss music a 4 out of 10. On to the second zone of the game now with Marble Zone. And believe me, this place is infamous for all the wrong reasons.
Oh no!
You see, Green Hill Zone was designed to be the perfect Sonic level. It's a giant playground for players to get familiar with the feel of the game and how Sonic controls. However, out of every single zone in the game, Green Hill was the one that had the most thought put into it, and boy does it show when we get to Marble Zone. You go bouncing around in Green Hill as fast as the eye can see to this. Waiting for blocks, waiting for walls, waiting for freaking lava. This kinda sucks when playing a Sonic game, as it's all about going fast as you can, beating a stage in record time, but in this zone, you're forced to come to a complete halt at every single moment. This is probably so people can have a bit of a break from the fast winding speed from Green Hill, and the music here really does do a good job of reflecting that. Compared to Green Hill's music, Marble Zone's music has a mysterious aura to it. It's a much slower paced song, but still keeps the adventurous tone, making the player want to explore the caverns of this mysterious place. This song perfectly encompasses what the level itself is trying to be. It's a much calmer song after the thrill presented in Green Hill, and honestly, although I prefer Green Hill as a stage, I really do like this music. Whilst it may not be as memorable as Green Hill, the calm mystical nature of this song perfectly matches the tone and aesthetic of the level, and also has tones of sadness actually, almost like not everything is as it seems. However, this song also suffers the same fate of the boss music unfortunately, as this level is extremely slow paced. It really does drag the music along with it, as it's repeated over and over for 3 acts straight in this absolute slog of a waiting fest. Either way, I still love this track, and even though it may not be as memorable as Green Hill, I still really like it, so this one also gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Right, on to Springyard Zone. This is the series' first casino-themed stage, which later inspired Casino Night Zone in Sonic 2, Casino Park Zone in Sonic Heroes, and many more that became staples in the franchise. This stage has bumpers and springs littered everywhere, and has a bouncy nature to it. The bouncy happy theme of the zone itself is also reflected yet again in the music of the stage, making the player feel joy when bouncing on the bumpers and springs of Springyard. The level itself also has a chaotic nature to it, with the bumpers and springs propelling Sonic in whatever direction the stage itself decides, making you feel a slight lack of control at some points. The song perfectly represents this, with 2 halves of the song being split into one that tells the player this level is difficult to navigate, sometimes you will feel at the mercy of the stage, and the other half telling the player if you can master the stage and Sonic's controls, you'll have a blast playing through this amazing level. However, due to the fact that the song itself is kinda split in 2 with its tone, it's very hard to find it catchy. Not to mention that after Sonic 1, many stages did Springyard's job a lot better, leaving this stage and its music to fade into obscurity. I like the message Nakamura was trying to send with this stage's music, but personally, rating just the music itself kinda renders the song's duality a tad useless. It doesn't really stick with me as much as the other zones on this list, so for that reason, Springyard gets a 6. Oh god, here we go. Ladies and gents, welcome to the Labyrinth Zone. The best zone in the game by far, where instead of going fast like you wanted to in the Sonic game, how about we just add water? Come on! This level is easily the most hated out of any zone in this game, and if you're watching this, you know why. Green Hill Zone was amazing. Marble Zone, yeah, there were moments of waiting, but there were also glimpses of hope. Springyard was great, but this... welcome to hell. Instead of going fast like you want to, as soon as you step foot into this zone, water everywhere. Not to mention the stage just seems like they rolled the dice, landed on spikes, and decided that was going to be the theme of the level. There are spikes and spears everywhere. Not to mention switches and doors every second while you're submerged in the water, barely able to move. And what's worse, you have about 20 seconds before you drown, so you better hope you go and find a giant bubble before you freaking die. And no, I'm not going to be including the drowning music in our list today, as I'm mainly focusing on the songs that actually loop. However, the drowning music is great at giving people nightmares, so I guess that's a 6 out of 10 for traumatizing kids. I don't freaking know anymore. So what music would you guys say fits this forsaken hellhole? It really just does not belong here. Imagine going from nearly getting impaled by a spike or having your lungs filled to the brim with water, struggling to breathe, holding on to dear life, whilst this happy jingle plays in the background. It feels like I'm being freaking taunted by this stage. In conclusion, the song isn't terrible, but like Marble, the stage makes it a nightmare to listen to. So for that, it gets a 3 out of 10. Alright, now on to a stage that I don't hate. Starlight Zone has the best music in the game. No, seriously, I'm not even kidding. Starlight Zone is the second to last stage of the game, the calm before the storm if you will, and its music is just fantastic. Listening to it feels like a dream, and playing through the level is honestly amazing. The song is catchy as all hell, and perfectly complements the stage. It feels like a sigh of relief after making it past the slog that was the previous zones, finally throwing you through loops again at high speeds. This stage could honestly put anyone who plays it in a good mood, and it's such a good time. Even the music alone is phenomenal. I just really can't get over how good this stage's music actually is. It's definitely my favourite in the entire Sonic 1 OST, so I'm gonna give this stage the love it deserves. I don't care if I get any hate for this, it's my list and I'll do what I want, so Starlight gets a 9 out of 10 from me. Finally, we're here at Scrap Brain Zone. It's taken us a long while, but we finally made it. Scrap Brain Zone is the final level of Sonic 1, and has a pretty decent track to it. The zone is filled with mechanical traps set out by Robotnik as we dash through his evil lair. You can really feel the sense of danger in this stage, and the music really just adds to that feel. The music itself feels a bit discordant, and mechanical if you will, which perfectly matches the metallic madness this level embraces. However, as a sacrifice to make the music match the mechanical tone of the level, the song loses catchiness points here. It can be catchy when playing the level, but really, who has this song stuck in their head? Nobody. Either way, this song still does a great job of matching the theming of the stage, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10. The final boss of the game. We're finally here to thwart Dr. Robotnik once and for all. We make our way up to him only to be dropped into—
Oh, for the love of—
Okay, so once we make it out of
Hell Round 4,
it's actually time for the final boss, thank God. The music here does a good job of making you feel intimidated, even more so than the original boss music of the game. But because it was only intended to be used in this one battle, it really isn't meant to be repeated over and over, meaning it also wasn't designed to be catchy. But we're rating songs based on how good they are, and unfortunately, this composition doesn't really measure up. So like the other boss music, 4 out of 10 from me. Well, the last song of the game we haven't touched is the special stage music, so seeing as you guys are probably fed up of my stupid opinions, how about one more before I stop working on this video and learn what a sleep schedule is. Sonic 1's special stages are my least favourite out of the classic trilogy. They're like a drug trip gone rogue, and the music— that's right, does a good job of reflecting it. Well done to you in the bag. Seriously, the song really does feel like a fever dream, and unlike Starlight, not in a good way. I'll gladly take a bad ending if I never have to take step in this place ever again. 2 out of 10, not special enough. So let's go through a recap of my stupid opinions from worst to best. In conclusion, the soundtrack that started it all is still phenomenal to this very day. And sure, some songs did better than others, but that's just up to my personal preference. Again, if your opinions differ to mine, please let me know what your favourite songs are in the comments below. I just want to say thank you to those who actually made it this far. This video took about 2 weeks to make and boy is it taking the life out of me. If you liked the video, please be sure to leave a thumbs up, it really means a lot, and share the video if you want to help the channel grow. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. I'll try and make a video on other classic Sonic games, as well as some modern titles too, or heck, even a different franchise like Mario or Pokemon, whatever you guys want. I hope you all have an amazing day. This is Voltz, signing out. Not flex, but my controllers have no drift. Haha, not funny.